Just take my word for it. Join the Discord. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for stopping by, Adrian. Thanks for the raid. It's always like truly, it's always I really do feel like it's been such a long journey over many, many years working on my own mental health, and it's such a just treat to meet people also in this space. So I think we're doing great work for the world, and happy to meet somebody who feels the same way. So 4.05 here across the pond. Oh Lord, what was the name of the flutist? She is Ratataz. Oh, I don't think she's in the. She's out of town right now. Can I? She's probably won't let me. Ah, it worked. Yes, she's awesome. By all means, check her out. She does music, but then she also talks about self-care. So she has my seal of approval. She's awesome. She's out of town right now, so she's not here, but she hangs out all the time. She does flute and then violin and then also the EWI. Is that how you pronounce it? The EWI, electric wind instrument. So she's very talented. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Necro, for hanging out, and thank you for staying up so late. Jesus, 4 o'clock just to hang out with us. That's so nice of you. I think I've seen her before. Give her a follow. Awesome. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Adri. Thank you for the raid, and thank you for stopping in. I hope you hang out. I'll come hang out with you sometime. We'll do some gratitude journaling together.
It keeps coming up.
All right, y'all. Let's finish up this video, and then I think I owe my guys some Fortnite. I think. Cool.
This is the frustration you keep getting stuck on with each other. It's both of you being frustrated by this one particular issue. And again, it goes back to what do you need? What's important to you? What's your perspective? What are your ideas? And then both people expressing both of those things and working together to work it out. This simple little shift is going to make a big difference in your relationships if you stop pitting yourself against your partner. If it's that they are working late too often, or you want to spend more time together, or you don't feel like they're pulling their weight around the house, or you kind of get the sense that they are not taking enough responsibility in their daily life. Seeing it as the both of you against the issue. The other thing, back to John Gottman and his research, he has said that through the years and years and hundreds of thousands of data points and research situations that they have been in and analyzed, 60% of all conflict in relationships is unresolvable.
That's such a crazy statistic, isn't it?
Two different manuals about how things should be, what's right and wrong, what's normal, what's abnormal, what's common sense, what's not. Two different people with two different manuals, two different rule books. And understanding that you're not always going to agree on everything or see eye to eye on everything or understand things in the same way as the other person. So what do? You accept some differences. You develop a sense of humor about it, and you work with each other in those points of congruence and connection, and work on making peace with the points that are not.
And I want to, I think what she says is, it's POG advice here, very on point. I want to throw in a caveat though, because we've had some people bring up their own relationships tonight. And I want to say, if you're someone who's in a relationship with someone who's emotionally immature, sometimes accepting some of those differences is something that you have to do if you want to continue the relationship with them. And no one's perfect. You know, there's things that probably you can work on in a relationship with someone, whether it's family, friends, romantic, etc. And there's things that they need to work on. And we can show up as our best selves and attempt to have that relationship go in as healthy a way as it possibly can. However, she is right that sometimes that you should accept someone's difference. But I want to throw in, or differences, I want to throw in the caveat of, if it is an abusive relationship, I highly recommend you really reconsider accepting those differences. I don't ever believe that it's okay, nor do I ever advise people to stay in a relationship without massive work if the relationship is physically, emotionally, verbally, sexually abusive. That's not a thing that I think that anyone should have to live with. I think if both people aren't willing to drastically do something to change the landscape of the relationship, you should not settle and stay and just say, hey, we're accepting differences, so I'm in an abusive relationship. You should absolutely look to exit that relationship unless it is abundantly clear that your partner is also willing to do whatever it takes to shift that dynamic to something healthier. How can you tell if the relationship is moving too fast? That's a great question, Alpha. Wow, that is a great question. I love that. And it's funny because I'm a guy who's really interested in mental health and relationships. And so for me, it's often really easy to very quickly emotionally connect with people. I also, so a little bit about my own attachment style. Originally, my attachment style is fearful avoidant, but I'm anxious leaning. So it's a combination of two. Usually fearful avoidant, aka disorganized attachments, have a mixture of, they have one way or the other that they tend to lean, because fearful avoidants have a mixture of both anxious and avoidant tendencies, but they tend to lean one way or the other predominantly. So I'm fearful avoidant, but I'm anxious leaning, and also I'm really psych-minded and just talk about relationship stuff all day. So I tend to build emotional intimacy with people really fast. So because of that, I often have this struggle of, man, is the relationship moving too fast? So I love this question, Alpha Gamer. I would say the speed that someone feels comfortable connecting with another person is going to be a highly individual thing. I think the only time a relationship moves too fast is when one person in the relationship thinks that it's moving too fast. Now, I'm going to say if you're getting married to someone like within a month of meeting them, that's probably actually too fast. But I would say as long as both people are willing to continue getting to know each other and moving the connection forward, you might meet someone and just really hit off with them and want to be exclusive with someone like a month into knowing them. That's okay. Some people are going to take 2, 3 months, 4 months, maybe even 6 months of talking to someone before they're ready to be like, hey, I think I want to make this like a committed thing, right? So I really think the speed of how fast feels right for us is something that you should navigate as a couple if you're dating someone. And I'm assuming you mean in the context of a romantic relationship, right? That's a great question, though. Dated someone who lived in the UK. She was talking about visiting, and when I agreed, she said it was moving too fast. My disorganized, aka fearful avoidant radar, it goes off a little bit when I hear that. It's like, wait, she said that she wanted to come visit you, but then she started to feel like maybe smothered or like she was losing her freedom and was worried that things were moving too fast. In my mind, so I'd probably need to know a little bit more to be able to tell you, but no, she was wanting me to visit her. So she wanted you to visit her, and then when you're like, okay, she's like, we're moving too fast. Is that what happened? Sounds kind of like she's either avoidant or fearful avoidant, if I had to guess. Yeah, gotcha. Alpha, do you know your attachment style offhand? This is always the thing that I go back to with people. This is like my favorite question. Guys, I'm sure you've heard me ask it to people a million times at this point. Also, for those of you who joined in from the raid, if you're not familiar with attachment theory or attachment styles, first off, I've got a million streams about it, so you can check out the replays of the stream, or you can check out my Instagram post on attachment, or join the Discord. We've got stuff in there about attachment. But I love to give people this fun little activity to do to find out your attachment style. So, when it comes to relationships, I really view attachment theory as such a powerful lens that I look at things through. It's not the only thing. Like if you go to grad school for marriage and family therapy, you'll learn all kinds of stuff. But it's a very powerful way of looking at the world. I get very clingy within a day of dating someone. Yeah, so if I had to guess, I'd guess you're probably anxious. And if she's saying that you guys are moving fast, anxious people tend to date people that are more avoidant because the anxious person is like, people tend to date their complement. And so if she's really independent, but maybe not the most emotionally available, and you're like more emotionally expressive, she might find it really attractive that you can be a little bit more emotionally expressive. That's kind of how dating tends to work for me. Like, I'm a pretty, as a guy, there's some things that I do that are traditionally like masculine or whatever, but I'm a pretty like emotionally expressive, emotionally available guy. So I tend to end up attracting women that find that attractive, right? And vice versa. If you're someone that's a little bit more anxious, oftentimes you see someone that's really self-assured and really independent, and you'll find that attractive, right? So we tend to date our complement when it comes to attachment stuff. She removed me for a week and then added me back. Oh, she's doing the blocking game. Ooh, Alpha, we gotta talk, buddy. We gotta talk strategy here. Yeah, I mean, and that'll be a thing that avoidance will do sometimes, whether it's fearful avoidant or, I had an actual dismissive avoided ex do this. This was quite some time ago before I understood the stuff as well as I do now. Where we would get really close. She would start to get freaked out when she felt like we were getting too emotionally intimate, because avoidants have a really hard time accepting intimacy from other people. And then she would just like, I need space. And then she'd literally just block me for like a week or two, like clockwork, y'all, like literally a week or two. And then she'd unblock me and just be like, hey, how are you doing? You know, and I'm over here just like every time it happens, I'm like freaking out back then. And so, yeah, that's the thing that avoidance will do a lot, Alpha. My heart goes out to you, man, because they can like block you or kick you off of social media or whatever just to get space, so they don't have this fear of engulfment being triggered, and then unblock you once they feel like they've gotten some space and be like, hi, remember me? It's completely fine until she started talking about, yeah, dude, yeah. I mean, she's probably an avoidant. You know anything about her fast? Did she grow up in a pretty healthy family, or was her family life kind of rough growing up? I guess she's probably avoidant though, because it's probably that you guys started to get close, and you should ask her sometime. I'd be curious. And how long you been talking to this girl? If you're oftentimes with avoidance, whether it's a fearful avoidant or dismissive avoidant, when you start to get close, around the times things start to get official, that's when they start to get squirrely. They start to be like, I don't know, we're moving too fast. I'm not going to say anything about anything in my own life going on right now. Certainly wouldn't do that. But yeah, oftentimes, and sometimes we can be too clingy and we can push people's boundaries, and that can turn people off. So if you're an anxious leaning person, whether you're a fearful avoidant that leans anxious, or you're an actual anxious preoccupied, again, if y'all don't know what we talking about, take the quiz. And if you're someone who's new here, take the quiz and drop what your attachment style is in the chat. I'd be curious to know. So sometimes anxious people can have the problem of coming on too strong, right? And sometimes that can legitimately make people feel like their boundaries are being crossed, and they can ask for space or to go slower. I do think you should probably try to respect that if they're legitimately asking for that. And also, oftentimes with avoidance, once things start to get official, of like you meeting them or you moving in with them, or you're going to call each other, you know, in a like a relationship, that's when they start to get kind of freaked out and kind of start to pull back. So I'd guess she's probably avoidant. This was, I don't know, this was before my current relationship. I stopped talking to her a while ago. I got tired and removed her and stuff. Yeah. And that tends to be a thing too, that we had a stream actually, I think it was last week, maybe it was on Friday, about what's called the anxious avoidant trap. Oh, did I not make an Instagram post about it? Oh, I'm falling down the job, y'all. No Instagram post about it. Okay. But what tends to happen is, so Alpha, if you said you tend to be the clingy one, what tends to happen, this is called the anxious avoidant trap, because it's just like such a common thing that happens. The anxious person will chase the avoidant. The avoidant starts to get freaked out because they have this thing about independence and always wanting to be independent. They'll start to run away, and then eventually you'll just get tired of the conflict. And oftentimes, either the avoidant will leave, but also oftentimes the anxious person will just fucking get tired of chasing. And then the relationship will end. it's funny though, because then oftentimes that will trigger the avoidant to be like, oh my god, this person's leaving, I have all this space, now I feel safe to connect with them, and then they'll start chasing you, ironically. Sometimes got tired and removed her. Yeah, so that's funny. That's the anxious avoidant trap right there. I'm glad this year is your new relationship a lot healthier. Anyway, let's finish up this video, y'all. Then we'll do some games.
Breaker things that are causing you a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, breaking trust, creating hurt, making you not feel emotionally secure or safe or supported in the relationship, then something else needs to be done. Our relationships are supposed to feel safe and supportive, loving and connected. That's why we get into partnerships, at least most of us, in the first place. So take a step back. Look at your relationship. Is there enough there to work with?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe and supported and secure and loved in your relationship? Are there enough working parts there that you think you two are going to be able to work it out if you are both making some changes and maybe getting some extra help and support to do so? If it has become very clear that your partner is not emotionally mature enough or self-aware enough to be a safe, secure, and supportive partner, it is also okay to reconsider the relationship. And if you're struggling with communication in your relationship, make sure you get that assertive and effective communication skills course.
I love her stuff. It's really great. So feel free to Julia Christina Counseling. Feel free to reach out to her. Just also, I want to throw my own shout out while she's shouting out her course. My Mastering Relationships course will be launching here in a couple weeks. Feel free to stay tuned on my Instagram. I'll shoot out about it. Like I said, I'm a relationship and self-development coach, so you don't get to do free advertising on my channel, Julia Christina Counseling. Anyway, that's the topic for the night, guys. Emotional immaturity. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you learned anything, feel free to talk about it in the chat. Let's see. Alpha says, so I get really clingy. I also get very obsessive in a dominant kind of way. Okay. I got you. So there's a whole conversation about BDSM in there somewhere, but we'll save that for another time. I wonder, maybe we should do like a kink stream sometime. I really feel like that would be interesting. I'm like not super knowledgeable about it, but yeah, maybe we'll do a stream about it. But anyway, yeah, so that was our topic for today. Usually we'll spend about the first 2 or so hours talking about a mental health topic. Topics that we've talked about in the past are attachment theory. So what are the 4 attachment styles? What is your attachment style? You can find that out. We'll probably have to do that as a regular thing because I feel like I talk about it so much that it's just a huge thing. Codependency. We've talked about what is codependency. So if you tend to get trapped in unhealthy relationships and have a hard time leaving, you might struggle with codependency. We talked about kind of the flip side of that, emotional immaturity. Oftentimes, codependent people will get stuck with emotionally immature people, and then you're codependent, so you just really tend to have a hard time setting boundaries for yourself and standing up for yourself. So you'll get kind of like bulldozed by this emotionally immature person. So that's what we talked about today. And we talked about some basic stuff too, like types of therapists and what type of therapist is right for you, different treatment modalities in the mental health field. I think we talked about that a week or 2 ago. So if you've just someone who's generally mental health curious and is interested in topics like depression, anxiety, and ways that you might be able to treat that. We've even had like a DBT stream as well. We talk about all those things. I tend to talk about things with a little bit of a relational focus just because that's my background and that's my thing. But we also talk about general mental health topics as well. So I am going to take a brief break because I've been going for a couple hours now and haven't had a potty break. So I'm going to get up, use the restroom, refill my water, and then we'll probably hop on some games. So if you're interested in hopping on games with us, I play games in the community very regularly during the second half, really more like second 1/3 of the stream. We usually go for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll play games like the last hour with the community. So I'll be hanging out in the Discord here So if you're not a member of the Discord server, feel free to hop in if you're interested in playing games. With that being said, I'm going to take a brief break here, probably be about 5 minutes to use the restroom and get some water, and then we'll hop in and play. So if you've learned anything, feel free to share it in the chat. Yes, my man, Flame. I feel like you're probably securely attached. From what you've told me about how healthy your relationship with your wife sounds, I'd be super curious to know your attachment style, though. Man. Good. Thank you. We just got to capture you and study you for science, dude. All right, y'all. I'll be right back. Man, I think it's time for us to play some games, y'all. So, let me go ahead. And the infographic with what we talked about will be on my Instagram here, probably by tomorrow. I do want to make a brief announcement since I've got kind of everyone here. Just as a reminder, I announced this on Sunday, but I will actually be going out of town. Oh, did my camera got knocked off here. I'll be going out of town on Thursday. I'll actually be attending the mental health retreat, which I'm so excited about. I'll have all kinds of cool pictures and videos and stuff on my Instagram. So because of that, Typically, I stream Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, but I will be out of Dodge until next Monday. I leave Thursday and come back on Monday. So no Friday stream this week or Sunday stream, but I'll be back next Tuesday. Fearful Avoidant. Wow. Interesting. Man, everyone's a Fearful Avoidant nowadays. Cool. Very cool. No, you're, so I historically come up as Fearful Avoidant that leans a little bit anxious. Now I've kind of done a lot of work, and so I'm, you know, a lot more securely attached than anything. But that's funny. So I realize now my last ex was Fearful Avoidant. I was Fearful Avoidant. I know a couple of other people. Who else tonight? There's a couple people tonight in chat who said they're Fearful Avoidant. So you're in good company. I think even Adri, when she was here, she might have mentioned that. I know there's a couple people, so no, you're very good. Anyway, let me go ahead and join inside of the voice channel, and if you guys are interested in playing games with the community, you can feel free to hop in. If you just want to hang out and talk about mental health stuff, you're also welcome here. So that is mental health topics for the night, y'all. We'll play some games with the community now. And like I said, this is pretty typically how we run stream. I'll usually talk about mental health topics for the first 2 hours or so. Tonight, I think we went a full 3 hours talking about stuff because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. And then we'll wrap up with games with the community. So, or music. I've been wanting to incorporate music back into the stream. We might have to make a dedicated music night. You know, I mean, probably not music the whole night, but because I miss doing music on stream. I miss making you guys listen to my bad singing. It's very important to me. Cool, go for it. Let's see. Let's switch over. But yes, as a reminder, even though we are playing games, it's still open mental health Q&A. So if you got relationship problems that you want to talk about, if you've got mental health stuff going on and just want some general recommendations on, hey, what can I do about my mental health stuff? Who should I see? What's your advice? Feel free. It's an open Q&A during the chat. So never hesitate to ask. This Fortnite is very slowly loading, y'all. I swear the game's not actually just a giant black screen. Sometimes stuff actually happens on the screen. Man, I'm not gonna lie. So we had our big we're now at 250 followers on the channel. We had a big celebration to celebrate that and the Instagram hitting 1,000 followers. Man, it was fun. We played so many fun games. This is the first time we've played Fortnite on stream, was that Sunday, last Sunday. And it was really fun. We're gonna have to play Fortnite more often. Flame, you hopping on, dude? In the launcher. Ratataz online 2 days ago. Oh, that's right. He said he was doing something. Let's just do a quick duos then. Ranked off, 0 build, cool. What's up, my man?
What's up?
How goes it? Yo.
No promises I'll do any shots considering how drunk I am.
Hey, man, you're gonna have to make me put a content warning on my stream here. Well, I guess since I'm not drinking, it's fine.
I'm 2 6-packs in.
Oh my god, Jesus. How old are you again?
Huh?
I said, how old are you again? We gotta talk about your drinking, bud.
I'm about to turn 22 in February.
Oh my god.
I've been drinking since I was 15.